Alright, what's up, Dust Mummies? The Mummy Dust here, back with my first Sinister Cup tournament experience. So we did do a ranked tournament. It was a remote tournament with a group I'm in with some very, very skilled trainers. So let's see how we did here. I was running Dusclops with Hex, Shadow Punch, and Fire Punch. Drifloon with Hex, Ominous Wind, and Shadow Ball. Cresselia with Confusion, Aurora Beam, and Moonblast. Medicham with Counter, Dynamic Punch, and Psychic. Mawile with Bite, Power Up Punch, and Play Rough. And Steelix with Dragon Tail, Crunch, and Earthquake. So let's go ahead and get right into these videos so that way it's not too long of a video for you. So first up, we go up against Matt Sauer, and we're going to go ahead and lead Medicham, and he leads Alolan Marowak. So we are in a pretty terrible situation here, so we're going to go ahead and switch out. And even switching into Mawile against this Fire Spin Marowak, as you can see, isn't the best situation. He switches into his Shiny Poliwrath, and at this point I just decide to ramp up the Power-Up Punches, or ramp up the Bites with Power-Up Punch. And here he's going to go ahead and hit us with a Power-Up Punch, so now we know at least one of the moves on the Poliwrath, and we're going to be able to get to a second Power-Up Punch, which is still not going to do very much damage. And we're going to be able to, at least chunk away at this thing. And then we're going to be able to come back in with Medicham. Probably should have came back in with Dusclops, but, it is what it is. We learn from our experiences, and we're going to go ahead and shouldn't have blocked that first one, but it could have been an Ice Punch. Now it is Ice Punch, and we didn't block it, so it really hurt us. And we're going to go ahead and counter this thing down. And in comes the Alolan Marowak already with a charge move. Thought it was Shadow Ball, so I block it. Huge mistake. So he baited me both of my shields. He baited both of my shields, which was just absolutely insane. He still has a shield left, and we're basically in a situation here that is not good. And he's got Bastiodon left against my Ghost and my pretty much dead Medicham. So it's pretty much GG's at this point. As you notice, there are some notifications popping up. I'm not a huge fan of iOS 13. Might be looking into getting an Android phone to do these battles with, because I just get tons of notifications that pop up now while I'm doing screen recording, and I absolutely hate it. And then the screen recording stops sometimes, and I've had it stop in the middle of a battle before, so definitely don't like that. But here we come back in with the Medicham, and no shields. He's going to be able to kill us with whatever charge move he throws at us. And it's GG's at that point. So we were able to put up a decent amount of fight, even though we lost the lead. But I did notice that this team is really weak to the Fire Spin Marowak if I don't get one of these other ghosts lined up on it, which is what I was having a really hard time doing. Just not being able to predict the leads. This cup is very, very difficult. There are so many battles that end up with like 1 HP, or like so close to using one charge move, or whatever it is. So here we're going to go ahead and try leading with Drifloon. So the first round, I actually thought he was going to lead Bastiodon against my team, because I do only have the one fighter, and Bastiodon pretty much walls everything else except for Steelix. Mawile can win in some situations, but you do have to use your shields, and they don't use their shields. So you basically win with the Mawile, but you have no shields, and they have 2 shields. So it's not the best situation. And then he brings in Bastiodon this time, and I'm pretty much really hurting right away, because if I switch into the Medicham, he's going to switch into a Ghost, and it's very, very difficult to just come back from that. So we are just going to go ahead and pretty much just sack this Drifloon. He uses a charge move on us, which is absolutely great. I don't think he wanted to get hit by another Shadow Ball. However, we do survive with just the smallest amount of health, so we're going to go ahead and throw this Ominous Wind and do a little bit of damage. And then we're going to come in with the Medicham and see what he does from here. This was, very, very tough matchup for me. So we are able to just feint down the Bastiodon. I don't know if he was lagging there, or he just didn't really care. So what I should have done here is baited him with the Dynamic Punch. but he doesn't shield anyways, so really good play on his part. We're going to bring in the Steelix, and the Poliwrath is going to absolutely demolish us. So, in hindsight, I actually learned that you can win the Medicham Fire Spin Alolan Marowak matchup. You just have to be able to bait them, and like we didn't do that, so unfortunately we lose. Here, we do land the Earthquake on the Poliwrath, so I'm like, wait, I could come back from this. It's definitely possible. So we're going to go ahead and feint this down. I do have an Earthquake and a Crunch ready to go. But as you can see, having tons of issues with this, and I wasn't able to get the bite off. I don't think it would have mattered. He had 2 shields. I don't think I had enough energy to double Crunch, but I might have. But we'll never know. It's just a loss. It's very frustrating. As you can see, I didn't even really go for the excellent there. I thought he used the shield somewhere. I guess he only used that one shield there, so that's the end of that. So we're going to go ahead. We lost round 1. We did get a bye round 2, unfortunately. Not something that I would prefer, especially in these tournaments where you're trying to get as much practice in. But we're going to go round 2 against Apens. We're going to lead Medicham. And again, we face a Fire Spin Marowak. So this time, we're going to line our Ghost up on it, the Dusclops, which is pretty much the safest switch in there. So we are making sure that we count. If he gets up to 7 Fire Spins, it could be a Shadow Ball. I didn't want to risk it because I really, really need this Dusclops moving forward. So we are going to Shadow Punch here. And then we are going to build up to another one, but he actually switches into his Mawile. So that was a good catch on his part. Shadow Punch actually does do a decent chunk to Mawile, so it wasn't a huge loss. And then Mawile is a situation against Dusclops where Mawile does have to shield to beat the Dusclops. So it's kind of a win situation, but like really, how much do you win? And here I almost got to another one. Now we're going to be able to bring in our Medicham and just farm down this Mawile. This Power Up Punch isn't going to hurt very much. Now we're loaded up on some energy. And then we are going to bait the Alolan Marowak this time. And we do get the shield. So then we're going to go ahead and build up to the Psychic now. We are going to have to shield again, because it could be Shadow Ball. Again, it's Bone Club, but we actually switch into Mawile. And now Mawile is going to eat a Bone Club as well, but we are going to be able to take down the Marowak. In comes his Poliwrath, and I think he was just trying to farm me down for the Medicham, and I get to the Play Rough, which is just absolutely amazing. You're going to see this just destroys the Poliwrath. So come out game 1 ahead, even though we lost the lead, which is something that is like very, very difficult to do. So I'm very happy with that win there. And then we're going to go ahead and go into battle number 2 of round number 3. And we're going to go ahead and pick our team here. So I did try, as you can see, Poliwrath comes up in my search. I was trying Medicham over Poliwrath in this tournament. It didn't seem... It seemed like I faced a Alolan Marowak with Fire Spin a lot, and I would have rather had Poliwrath. I don't know if it was just the players that I faced against, but Fire Spin Marowak seems to be like it's like Fire Spin Marowak and Steelix seem to be like the most popular Pokemon that we face. But here, we do catch a good lead with the Medicham against the Poliwrath. So this is a positive matchup for Medicham. He switches out into the Drifloon, and hindsight here, I should have kept this Psychic. I didn't, and then I switch. I should have definitely kept the Psychic, and I would have probably been able to win this match. Here, we're worried about the Shadow Ball, so that's the good thing about Drifloon, is it has the ability to absolutely just confuse you. Same with the Alolan Marowak, so running both of those on the same team is literally like, is it a Shadow Ball? Is it Ominous Wind? I don't know. I probably need to shield anyways, and then you get hit, by the lower one when you do shield, and when you don't shield, you get hit by the heavier attack. So in comes this Poliwrath. We don't have any shields left, so we're in a bad situation. He's just going to go ahead and straight Ice Punch us. We do have some energy built up, but if I did have the Psychic ready to go, this would have been a totally different match, because there he uses his last shield. I could have switched into the Metachan with the Psychic ready to go and just absolutely destroyed this thing and been way ahead. Instead, we switch into the Cresselia, which should be pretty decent, but his last Pokemon is Alolan Marowak. So, the bad kind of team lineup too. I'm not sure how I feel about Cresselia. It always seems to be like really good until it isn't good, and you're in a situation like this. Well, like if it would have been against this Marowak at the point where the Marowak would have had to already deal with, and I couldn't get that Shadow Punch there either. So, you know, super, super close. I don't know. You know, if my connection issue has anything to do with it, but sometimes when I switch in, or sometimes when I tie with people, or I should tie with people, it doesn't go to CMP tie, and then it comes back, and I'm like not doing the charge move even though I clicked on it. So I don't know if that's a Niantic thing or if that's my connection issue. I have noticed that a lot. If you guys notice something like that, put it in the comments below for me. I would really appreciate it. If you guys could tell me, you know, possibly what I'm doing wrong, or why it's not working, or if it's just not working for everybody. But here we go, final round. We do need to win this in order to take it, and we are leading with the Mawile this time. And he's selecting his team, so we're just going to have to wait on it here. But we are going to be doing some more Sinister Cup videos. I am in a Go Stadium lobby, so if you guys aren't familiar with Go Stadium, it is a Discord that you can join, and you get put into a lobby with, I think, 16 other people, so that there should be 17, and then you can do a 5-round tournament after you guys reach Ultra Friends. The main problem with mine is we had 2 people who just couldn't figure it out. So I've had one person that I gained like 2 days friendship with, and everybody else is Ultra Friends. And then there was a guy who I'm like 4 or 5 days away from, and he just hasn't opened up a gift or sent anything like that. So if you guys do join the Go Stadium lobby, I wish you the best of luck in getting some people that will increase their friendship with you, and hopefully you can do 5-round tournaments. As of right now, I'm doing 4-round tournaments, and that's going to be my weighted cup. So here we lead Mawile against Steelix. This is an interesting matchup. It's kind of like Bastiodon. It's a little bit better for Mawile in this situation. So we can just actually ramp up this Mawile to be like a lawnmower. Like it's just going to mow things down. So we do have to burn both shields, because at either point it could be an Earthquake. So we do want to shield it, and the Earthquake would one-hit the Mawile. So we do end up with 0 shields versus 2 shields, but Mawile can absolutely just chew into things with those power-up punches. So we're going to power-up punch again just to get the bite going even more damage, and then again as well, so that we can just chew into this Alolan Marowak. So we are going to try and catch the Bone Club with one of our Pokemon that is a little bit less weak to it, and I made a huge mistake here. I accidentally switched to Cresselia, so I did not mean to do this whatsoever. And I definitely thought it was going to cost me the match. So we're just going to try and make the best out of it, hit the Aurora Beam, and he shields, so that's a really good situation there. And so worried about it. So we're going to bring in the Mawile that's ramped up and try and just chomp this thing down as fast as we possibly can. So look at that. It's just absolutely tore into this thing. And he uses Ominous Wind, and it doesn't kill it. So at this point, we're going to switch into our Dusclops, and we're going to get to that Shadow Punch, basically double Shadow Punch. And with this much health, Dusclops can actually survive the Shadow Ball. So there it is. He survives. And then, oh yeah, he had a shield, so I was either going to, I just wanted to try and feign him down with fast moves, so that way I didn't waste that. So we win that one, and we're going to go ahead and go into round number 3. We're going to check their team, go back to our team, and we're going to go ahead and see what is going to be best against it. So again, people really like to lead either Steelix or Ghost type. And if they have Bastiodon on their team, they can lead Bastiodon as well, especially if they see this little balloon guy over here, because Bastiodon has such a good matchup against the balloon that it's unreal. So he can basically just farm the crap out of it, and then whatever else comes in, hit it. So here we go. Dusclops, bad situation for me. I'm going to switch into Mawile. Like I said, it could lose, but we're going to go ahead and just do what we can to the Metachan. With the Mawile, I probably could have went up to the Play Rough and tried to hit that and burn a shield. Might have been a better situation than doing what I did, but we do have the Dusclops that we're going to go ahead and swap in, and Dusclops is going to be able to basically farm up on this Metachan. Either move isn't going to do too much, either Psychic or Dynamic Punch, so we're just going to farm it up. Hopefully we don't get hit with another Psychic, which I think is what he was going for. He probably had it, but it's just really hard to say. So here I got a little trigger happy, and I pulled the trigger on the Shadow Punch. But we're going to go ahead and hit a couple fire punches here. Maybe just one, and I think we switch back into the Metachan. And then we just hope that last Pokemon isn't the Hughes Metachan counter, which it is. So unfortunately, I should have known. He led with this. Unfortunately, it's Dusclops, so at this point, we are pretty much in a really terrible situation. But we're going to try and get our way out of it with a bait, which worked. And then we're going to go ahead and try and build up to the Psychic. We don't get there. We are going to shield so that we can try. And then hit the Psychic on the Dusclops. So that is one of the things I do like a little bit more. And then we're going to swap into the Dusclops to absorb this crunch, which we do. And then, can we get to this Dynamic Punch? We got it. Oh my gosh, this was like this whole match was just determined by crazy stuff like that. So we got it. Basically 1 HP left. There's probably a little bit more than that. You can see the bar, but probably one Dragon Tail away from destruction there. So we get the Dynamic Punch, super close battle, and then we're going to go ahead and go into battle number 2. I think we're going to go ahead and use Cresselia this time. It just seems like every time I try to use Cresselia, it doesn't work out very well for me. We're going to see here. We're going to see if he leads Ghost again, I believe. So we're going to run Mawile, Drifloon, and Medicham. So I'm almost forced to use Medicham. A lot of the times he does lead Ghost, so correctly predicted here. Although it is Dusclops, which has the best Ghost matchup against Mawile, because it does have access to that Fire Punch. So I normally like to shield the first one. And here we go again with the Medicham. And we're going to switch into Drifloon. So we should be in a very good situation here, but I'm sure I'll find some way to ruin it. Because I know that we go to round 3, so get hit by the Psychic and go for the Honest Wind. Hopefully we can get it. I went for Shadow Ball, and it worked. So like, I have no idea how I lost this. I'll go for the Honest Wind. We get the shield, so we're at even shields now. He's able to farm down my Drifloon, so that's probably why. But we do have Mawile. Yeah. So I could not tell you why I did not come in with Mawile there. Absolutely terrible decision. And that's what cost me the match. So, looking back, if I come in Mawile, I can actually farm down that and get another power-up punch off and absolutely just destroy this Dusclops, shield or not. And then we do get hit here with a Shadow Punch, and that's pretty much GG's. So, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I have no idea why I came in with that. I was probably thinking like, hey, this Metachan is useless and I'm going to use it. But that was just a terrible decision. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and check out his team again. His team is extremely weak to Dusclops. With everything being weak to Dusclops, except for Steelix. And then Steelix weak to Metachan, so we're going to bring Dusclops and Metachan for sure. And then I think we'd be safe to bring another Ghost. We go ahead and decide to lead with Steelix this time, or we could bring Mawile. Mawile is absolutely going to mow down those Ghosts. So I probably should have led Dusclops. Looking back at the team, absolutely should have led Dusclops. But here we're going to swap into Dusclops. One of the safer swaps. And then he's going to bring his in. We do have energy up, so we should be able to win this matchup. And we're going to go ahead and start throwing Shadow Punches. Plus mine Shiny, so Shinies do more damage, you know what I mean? It's actually really good PvP IVs for being a Shiny. I've caught like 3 of these Duskulls in one night during the first Halloween event. I mean, that was the second one for sure. Shinies weren't even out then. Well, whenever Duskull and Shuppet and Sableye were available, that was like, I was just out looking for those guys. Sableye is one of my favorite shinies. I also have a shiny that's maxed out and just like terrible PvP IVs. So here we're looking at our options. He brings in Drifloon, which is a little bit questionable, but we are going to be able to go ahead and hit this. And then we're going to switch. We probably should have stayed in with Dusclops looking back at it. But I'm glad that we do have the Dusclops ready for the Mawile. Although we don't have any shields, so we're not in the best situation. Probably should have just kept biting. It probably would have done more damage. But we're going to bring back in the Dusclops. Because we do not want to fight that. And get off this Shadow Punch, which is going to be shielded. And then hopefully we can get to another one. We don't. I actually think this is a Dynamic Punch. No, Psychic. So at this point, I feel like I'm absolutely doomed. He switches into his Drifloon, and I was completely shocked by it. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and count this up. And then I count it up, get to that crunch, and just before the Ominous Wind is going to come off, and then we're going to be able to have another crunch for this Metachan. And is this going to be enough to kill it? No. But we do faint it down with the Dragon Tail just before we die. So we got super, super lucky there. And that was our win for that match. And we are able to go 3-1 in the tournament. We do get 3 points. And the winner of the tournament is none other than Holden McGroin. Holden McGroin. He went undefeated in it. Matt Sauer, who beat me, lost to him in the finals. So I was able to snag 3 points. And I had a really good time. It was really competitive, and it was really, really, really nerve-wracking. But hopefully I can get better at the Sinister Cup. Hopefully I do well in my Ghost Stadium Cup. And hopefully you guys do well in your guys' Sinister Cups. And if you aren't signed up to do one, this over here, over there, that tells you basically everything you need to know. Go to SelfGG, look at the Sinister Cup rules, build a team, see if you can find a tournament near you. If you can't, you have a busy work schedule like I have had, there are remote tournament options. This tournament here was completely remote. I've added all these people over the past few months. I've leveled up with them so that I could battle them remotely, and I did this tournament from my living room couch. So, if you're really into it, there is a way to do it. Please make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. It really does help me out, and share it around. If you like what you see, you can follow me at the links below. My Instagram and my Twitter, and then I try and post 4 to 5 videos a week. So if you guys hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, you guys can stay tuned for more videos. And so until next time, go beyond plus ultra and good luck in your Sinister Cup.